let's do this thought exercise. So suppose we had a type 1 and a type 2. Suppose we had 3 types. Suppose we had 4 types. Suppose we had 5 types. What's going to happen? Well, every time you pick an average price, so that you can get some of those healthy people, if only the sick people sign up, you're stuck with high costs. So you're going to raise your premium. But now you're stuck with only these people buying above your price. You're going to raise your premium. You're going to raise your premium. And it's just going to keep going. You're going to keep going until it all explodes. What is this called? Let's write it in black letters, enormous. This is called the death spiral. Very dramatic, isn't it? Death spiral. Ah! So this is the idea that if you let markets go like this in community rating, if they can only charge one price and whoever the heck wants can sign up, and whoever the heck doesn't want to sign up is allowed to not sign up, right? The type 1s were like, I'm out of here. So all the cheap guys leave the market and are only stuck with the expensive ones. You're eventually going to see the market rise. The premium is just going to rise until only the sickest people have plans on offer. So the death spiral is kind of the theoretical, there's maybe some empirical examples, but like the end product of extreme community rating, when eventually insurers only price to the sick people and healthy people have nothing to buy. Only price to sick people because of adverse selection. And then healthy people have no plans available. They can afford or want to buy, right? So all of this is on their willingness to pay. And if they're not willing to pay, they're not going to buy. All right, so afford, but it means that people that aren't going to use much health insurance don't have a plan that is correspondingly low price. This is called the death spiral. And what was the solution to this? So with the ACA, the big movement was that pre-existing condition clauses where you could price on pre-existing conditions were very unpopular. They didn't like that if you had cancer, that suddenly your prices would be very expensive. So then there was a movement to get rid of the pre-existing conditions. Well, you as insurers now can understand what real life insurers were thinking. They were kind of ticked off by that, right? Because they would be stuck in this kind of death spiral situation where you can't charge what it's going to cost to take care of the sick person or the healthy person because you don't know who's going to pick it. So you're just going to do the sick person. And so that was going to be really bad and lead to a huge death spiral in the insurance markets if you took away the pre-existing condition ability to price. So the solution to this, or maybe I'll put it in quotations because there might be some other solutions, but the ACA solution to this is the individual mandate. Why did they have the individual mandate? Well, it was so that we're not going to have a death spiral. What you're going to do is you're going to force the healthy people to still be in the pool. The idea, and if you have enough competition in the market, you could see this. The idea is that now there are the really sick people that you would price to, but there's also tons of healthy people. And if there's competition, meaning that if there are 8 plans on offer and only 4 people are buying, there's an incentive to keep your price low to entice some of the healthy people to come as well, because otherwise you're not going to sell your plans. So if you can get a lot of the healthy people and just a few sick people, then maybe we're all good to go. And the insurance market will still run. We won't have a death spiral. But who is that not awesome for, right? So you type 1s that were being forced to buy insurance, that wasn't great. You got negative utility from that, right? If the prices ended up being higher than your willingness to pay and you're being forced to buy, not awesome for you. Who is this in real life? Well, it's probably college kids, right? Or fresh out of college kids. The idea that you're young and healthy and maybe if you're not rich, then you don't want to buy insurance, but you're being forced to buy it anyway. So the individual mandate was, so talking about the legality of it, right? That's separate. That was the Supreme Court, and that has to do with the Constitution. But here I'm just talking about the theoretical outcomes of it and the economics of what would happen if it's there, what would happen if it's not there. And it was unpopular with the young healthy people, right? Because this was bad for them. So one thing I can add about the individual mandate is that this bad outcome is really a short run bad outcome. If you think about insurance being something that, am I trying to insure this year's health expenses, or am I actually just, I want to have insurance because right now when I'm young, I don't have a high risk, but when I'm old, I'm going to be high risk. And I would like to be insured over my lifetime. I would like to know there is insurance so that I can have my healthy self pay in and my sick self pull out. Okay. So then in that sense, the individual mandate wouldn't be terrible, in that it's kind of just making the young healthy people come in. The problem is that in the US, we don't have a centralized system. And so suppose I'm in young and healthy in plan A, there's no guarantee I'll be choosing plan A when I'm 80. It collects the benefit and it has the payout, but there's no guarantee that it's going to be able to insure that over their lifetime, because we have a multi-insurer system. So it's a little messy. But anyway, I want you to understand what is the rationale behind the individual mandate. It was trying to prevent the death spiral, because we also simultaneously, and you can see this is kind of what happened to the plan, we wanted to prevent the death spiral because we also wanted to get rid of pre-existing conditions. And if you have both those things, if you're going to get rid of pre-existing condition clauses, then you're going to have a death spiral unless you have the individual mandate. And so that's why that was in there, to try to control that in the individual market. All right, please reach back to me if you have any questions, and have a good afternoon.